congratulations to you and your brother on the growth of not only the accounting business, but you started working in your dad's firm 15 years ago. You now run that with your brother. You've got about $800 million under wealth management in the wealth division. Then in 2023, with your brother and two other business partners, started Wealth Rabbit platform to help other CPA firms and small business owners manage their wealth in the US with around 15 FTE and $1 million under management, planning to get that to 100 employers by the end of this year and 1,000 by the end of next year. So congratulations to you both in the team over the growth of both businesses.
One thing about running a business is even if you're being successful, and I know this from the CPA firm, we're almost 50 years old. Wealth Rabbit's only 2 years old, but you never feel like you're 100% successful. And I think that's a good trait. You never want to get too complacent. If you get too complacent, that's when the business starts to fail. So you always got to be improving, always got to be striving for the next thing. So I would say our ultimate goal is to sell Wealth Rabbit. That's our exit strategy. That will be when we have succeeded, when we can have a successful exit. But I would say, we're helping small businesses now. That's my key metric is how many small businesses can we help until we get to our selling point.
G'day and welcome to the Grow a Small Business Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Trewin. Each week, we speak with an owner who has grown a business with 5 to 30 team members to something bigger. Diving into their numbers and unearthing the pain they've experienced, we explore what they did to overcome each barrier and what they would do differently from day one. Let's get into it.
Welcome, everyone. Today I'm interviewing Jason Ackerman from Wealth Rabbit, based in Charlotte, USA. Thanks for your time today, Jason.
Yeah, very happy to be here.
Let's start with how we know each other. Ebony from Eden Communications put us in touch a few months ago. I thought you'd be a great guest for us.
Yep, very happy. As we'll get into, we're an early startup and we're doing all the marketing, and I'm learning lots of stuff, including PR and marketing. And so Ebony and her team were great partners of ours to help us get some media, which is important for our type of business.
We'll tell our audience a bit about your business, what it does and how it makes money.
Yeah, so we're Wealth Rabbit is a retirement platform for U.S. companies. So if you're listening to this and you're in Australia, we were just talking about this, but basically the government requires businesses to fund the money into the retirement plan there. But in the U.S., there's nothing like that. You're kind of on your own. And businesses can offer retirement plans for their employees. And there's a lot of complexity to that. So my background is a CPA. I advise small businesses on retirement plans all the time. And my brother and I, and then actually a client of the CPA firm, we decided, hey, we need to help small businesses with their retirement planning and help other CPA firms and accounting firms teach them how to do retirement plan advising. So that's us in a nutshell. We specialize in simple IRA plans, which is a type of retirement plan, but we do basically all types of plans, IRAs, SEPs, and we're moving into 401ks and cash balance plans, which if you're in Australia, you have no idea what that means, but retirement plans.
Yeah, 401ks like our superannuation funds over here, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
And how did you start out?
So I'll kind of start at the very beginning. So my dad actually founded our CPA firm. So in addition to Wealth Rabbit, I'm a CPA and a CFP, which is a certified financial planner. I went to NYU. I worked at KPMG for a few years, and then my dad owns an accounting firm here. And I went to work with him about 15 years ago. And I really like helping small businesses. So now I run our CPA firm as well. We've got about 35 employees. We're about $7 million in revenue. My brother runs our wealth side. That's about $3 million in revenue. He's got 800 million assets under management. So together we run our firm, and we have a CPA client and a wealth client that was interested. They sold a business. And what's kind of interesting from a perspective from your listeners is I've helped small businesses all the time, like advising them mostly on tax planning, but also financial planning. And I also run a business. So I kind of have a unique perspective on all this, but I run a professional services business, which is way different than Wealth Rabbit. Wealth Rabbit is a tech software startup. So it's been very interesting for me to learn how different a software startup is compared to a professional services firm. And I think that's kind of been my biggest learning experience over these last 2 years since we started Wealth Rabbit is like what's different and how you have to pivot it and do different things for different types of businesses. So so Wealth Rabbit has helped my CPA firm and me like be able to give advice to my other clients because I've kind of lived this software startup world.
So you started Wealth Rabbit in 2023. So how old were you then 2 years ago?
Oh God, I gotta do big math. So I'm 38 now, so I was 36.
Yeah, you should be good at numbers.
I do big numbers. Two, three. That's rounding.
And do you have some key numbers you can share to illustrate the growth of the business?
Yeah. So we started obviously 2 years ago. We had nothing. We've got about 36 business clients right now that are in retirement plans. We've got underneath that, we've got 72 employees that are in those plans. We've got about little over $1 million in assets under management. So we're very early on in our process. We've started with basically the four co-founders, or four of us. We hired our first employee in January. We've got an outsourced tech team in India. It fluctuates, but there could be between 10 and 30 people there at a time helping us build the product. And we're growing every day. Our goal by the end of the year is to have 100 employers on the plan. And then by the end of next year, we want 1,000 employers
Yeah,
on the
great.
plan.
So
We're
roughly,
going to grow.
how many FT roughly now then across all the 30?
In the US, we've got about 3.
Yep.
And employees, and we have some contractors. And then overseas, I would say 15 on average. So
Yep.
somewhere around there.
Yeah, okay, great. When was the moment you felt like you had succeeded?
One thing about running a business is even if you're being successful, and I know this from the CPA firm, we're almost 50 years old. Wealth Rabbit's only 2 years old, but you never feel like you're 100% successful. And I think that's a good trait. Like you never want to get too complacent. If you get too complacent, that's when the business starts to fail. So you always got to be improving, always got to be striving for the next thing. So I would say like our ultimate goal is to sell Wealth Rabbit. That's our exit strategy. That will be when we have succeeded, when we can have a successful exit. But I would say, we're helping small businesses now. That's my key metric is like how many small businesses can we help until we get to our selling point.
What does success look like to you?
I think success, kind of what I just said, but it's not monetary. It's how many people we can help, how many small businesses we can help save money, help them keep their employees, save for retirement, get tax advantage. Like that's the metric that I'm most excited about. So like the metrics that I look at, it's like how many employers do we have? How many assets under management? How many employees are we helping? How much money we're helping save them in taxes? So that's the keys to success for me. And I think if we do that really well, if we take care of our clients, this is the same way we think about the CPA firm. This is where it's the same. It's like the most important thing you can do in there's other theories of business, but I think if you service your clients very well, you take care of your clients, like you're going to be successful, whether that's a software company and you're building a great software to help them save time and save money, or we're a CPA firm and we're helping, save money on taxes and whatever. Like the key is making sure the client's taken care of. That's success.
Now, I know you're just getting into this corner of the business, but what's the number one thing you'd recommend to marketing a fast-growing business?
I think you got to be able to pivot quickly. That's what I've learned the most. It's like, especially when you're first starting out, like I think our product's very good, but how you market it like can change. And I don't know all the answers to that. And sometimes you start with the strategy, and if it's not working, like you got to be able to pivot and try something else until something sticks, especially at our stage. Like that's what I've learned. Like you're going to waste some money. you're gonna throw some stuff at the wall that's not going to stick. But I think the worst thing you can do is stay on a path that's not going to succeed. So I think you got to be nimble. You got to have the right people around. You got to have the expertise. I think marketing, like expertise, is so specialized. Like you really got to have someone on your team, whether it's a PR firm or your CMO or someone who has been through this before and can help guide you. And just relying on those people is so important, especially someone like me who I know the retirement space very well. I know the CPA space very well. I know how to advise clients on it, but I do not know how to sell Like I can sell individually, but I don't know how to sell at scale and how to get people at scale. And that's, that's what these great marketing people do. So relying on them doing what they tell me to do, like not thinking that I'm smarter than them, because I'm definitely not smarter than them. If they tell me, hey, you got to post this way on LinkedIn, you got to do this, like I listen to them because they have experience and they know what they're doing. And I think that's been successful so far.
Have you studied many other SaaS businesses, how they've grown?
Oh, yeah.
Have you listened to Nathan Latker's podcast?
I haven't.
I'll send that through to you. It's a really good one. It's usually around 20 minutes, and he pulls out all the lessons around growth, particularly marketing, but also a lot of their numbers, their key metrics. So it's quite a good one, I think.
Yeah, that would be great.
And have you read Jeffrey Moore's book, Crossing the Chasm?
I've read part of it. I'm actually but I haven't read the whole thing.
It's a great book and relevant for you, all about tech companies written in the 90s.
Yeah. It's we're at an interesting phase for the accounting space, for the retirement space, for everyone. I mean, AI is going crazy, and there's so much noise out there. Like, can you cut through the noise to get to your target audience? And that's hard to do. And I think marketing is changing a lot too. Like it used to be a lot of SEO. Now it's like, how can you get on Chat GPT as an answer? And how do you get the AI algorithms are way different than the SEO algorithms. And that's all changing like in the last 6 months. Like right basically when we started Wealth Rabbit is like when all this has been changing. So I think all companies are learning on the fly how to do that. But that's interesting to me.
And how did you fund the business?
All self-funded. We've got 4 founders. We all put in the same amount, and we are not trying to take outside money now. We would take for a strategic partnership. We would take potentially an investor, but right now we're trying to do it on our own, which has been good so far because I don't have to spend. I think I'd be spending half my time just doing presentations for investors. Now I can focus all my time on growing the business in a different way.
If you were to start up today with plenty of funding, would you go into your industry?
Yeah, I think the space that we're in is ripe for change. I think you're seeing a lot of this. So on the 401k space, there's a lot of small business startup software companies, but there's nothing on the simple IRA space. And the simple IRA space is really made for small businesses. And I think what's unique with us is we're CPAs, we're CFPs, like we deal in the small businesses all the time. Most of these other businesses start up from Silicon Valley and investors, and like they don't really understand the small businesses like we do. So I think there's just such a need for helping small businesses and getting them in the right stuff, like being a fiduciary. Like the fiduciary is key in the CPA space and the wealth space, and like there's just not a lot of that going on right now. So yeah, I think there's a lot of ripe for change, and you're seeing there's a lot of cool companies coming through right now that like Wealth Rabbit.
Can you outline the most stressful point in your small business growth journey so our audience can learn from it?
I think the most stressful thing is just making sure you can pay your bills, especially at this stage. It's like, are we going to do another capital call? Like, how are we meeting our targets? Like, I think that's the most stressful thing. The other stressful thing is just like getting clients onboarded, like getting people believing your software. I believe in it. I think it's a great product, but like every customer we add, it just makes me like get more confidence. So I think that's like trusting in the software, like is important. Like you have to believe in what you're selling. Like if I didn't believe in what I'm selling, I don't think anyone would buy it, but you don't really know until someone buys it, if that made sense. So that's the most stressful thing, especially from my perspective, like not being a natural salesperson.
What area in business do you feel you've had to work on the most to add the greatest value?
Marketing, 100%. Being able to just being extroverted, putting yourself out there, like that's not natural for me. So, I don't like to post on LinkedIn, but I do it. And now I'm starting to enjoy it. Like I like some of the interactions. Like LinkedIn's for the most part nice, which I like. Like I don't like to post on Twitter because people are just like immediately F you. You don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. But LinkedIn's some kind of a safer space, and like I'm trying to help people. Like, and I think that comes across.
What have you enjoyed the least about managing fast growth?
There's not anything I haven't really enjoyed in this startup space. I think there's been stressful pieces of it, like the funding, the marketing, but the worst part's always, I think, managing people, especially when it's not working out and you have to fire someone. Like, I hate that because you always want someone to work out and it doesn't work out. Having the hard conversations, that's always, I think, to me, the part I don't like.
And what do you love most
Yeah.
about running a small business?
I like seeing other people use a product and like it. Like, I think to me, like, this is an idea that my brother and I have had for like 6 or 7 years that has like become a actual thing in the world. It's like you think of it and then like it actually gets built and then like people are using it and they actually like it. Like, I think that's the coolest thing to me. It's like, oh, the idea was a good idea. Like, whether it lasts long term and we make billions of dollars or we don't make billions of dollars, like, I know that we've been successful, at least that some people like the product.
What has been the biggest mindset shift for you in your small business growth journey?
The biggest mindset change is I tend to be someone who likes to do everything. In order to grow, you have to hire the right people and you have to trust them to do their jobs. And especially in a software startup where I don't know how to code, I don't know how to do that stuff, like trusting them, letting them make their own decisions, getting the marketing people in there, like just building the team and building a good team, like that's been key for me because that's kind of different in the CPA space. Like, yeah, I run a team, but people have their own clients. You deal with them, you kind of manage them how you are. You're kind of siloed in a way, at least the way we run our firm. But the software space is completely different.
The number one habit you think a small business owner needs to develop and maintain?
I'm gonna say positivity. I think being able to just stay positive all the time, project positivity to your team. Like, there's ebbs and flows and people get down if you're, you know, especially early on. Like, when you're in the growth phase, it's like there's so many like curveballs that are thrown, and just staying positive is just, I think, impatient, being patient. Like, it's not going to happen overnight. Just have faith that it's going to work out. And you have to project that to your team. Like, if your team knows if you don't believe in the product or you're not positive, or so I think that's very important.
Want specific advice to help you get your business through its number one growth challenge? Book a free 20-minute growth chat with me, Troy, the founder of Grow a Small Business. I'll recommend some resources which will help you grow your business with ease so you can live the lifestyle you've signed up for. Go to growasmallbusiness.com and click on Growth Chat.
Now, you would have hired a lot of people over the 15 years at joining your father's CPA firm and also now in the last 2 years with Wealth Rabbit. Can you talk to how you've added people to the team, some wins, mistakes, and advice for those listening?
The biggest thing when hiring someone is just making sure they're a cultural fit. Like, especially in accounting, you can teach like 99% of accounting.
Debits and
Software is a
credits.
little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you don't learn anything, at least in the US, like the way they teach accounting, it's like from 1940 and you have to learn it all new. So when I'm looking on the CPA side, it's like, are they going to fit in? Are they willing to learn? Are they willing to work hard? That's all I really care about. Same thing on the software side. It's a little different. Like, obviously, if you're hiring a software engineer, like, they got to be able to code. But I think in general, it's just like, and the biggest thing is like, would I want to work with them? Like, especially in a startup, like in our CPA firm, we've got 50 people total. I know everyone. Like, I work with them. If I don't want to work with them, then other people are going to want to work with them. So that's the big, what I look at. It doesn't always work out. You don't always know. In the CPA firm, we really like to grow from within. I don't like to hire, like, we're kind of like the enterprise car. Like, we like to start and promote up. That's been the best success for us. Because when you bring people in, potentially, like, they've learned different ways. Like, we kind of indoctrinate them into the BNA CPA culture. And that's kind of what we're trying to do with Wealth Rabbit. It's like, hey, let's start here. Let's grow with us. I think one thing that's our partners, this isn't their first software business, and they exited a product for $40 million a few years ago. And what they did, which I really liked, is they told everyone, our ultimate goal is to sell these products. And when we sell them, we will share the financial reward with the employees. So when they did, 25% of the earnings they gave back to their employees through bonus. And I thought that was a really cool thing to do and say up front, like, hey, you succeed when we succeed. If we sell this for lots of money, you're going to be taken care of. And I think that's just a really, especially in the software, because that is the ultimate goal for most software. It's like you're going to sell at some point, like in order to take Wealth Rabbit to the next level, we're going to need to bring in somebody who's done that. And it's a different thing. So we want our employees to be taken care of at that time. Communication, like communicating that, like, hey, if you tell your people, like, this is our goal, if this happens, you will be rewarded. Like telling them straight up, like that's like the communication aspect is so important. And I think that's where a lot of businesses fail is they don't want to tell their employees anything. They're like scared to tell their employees everything. Like at B&A, we share everything other than other people's salaries. And they probably tell each other that, so they know that. But everything else is like an open book. They see the revenue, they can see the expenses. Like we try to tell them why we're doing stuff. Like same thing in the software. It's like, what's our ultimate goal? Why are we doing this? Communication.
So one of my sayings is communication is the key to any relationship. Have you read Jack Stack's book, Great Game of Business?
I've not.
I'll send that through to you.
I don't read a lot of books, which is not good. I should, but I read a lot of tax code, which is kind of lame.
Well, you are a nerd. It was the only subject I came close to failing at uni. Got 51% for my tax module, but the lecturer did say 2/3 of you are just going to pass, a third will fail, and it was really tough.
What's pass? You had to get 50 to pass?
Yeah. And I got 50 times. And I still have an annual recurring nightmare that I've failed it.
Hey, to pass CPA exam in the US, you have to get a 75. And my dad always said, if you read more than a 75, like you've studied too hard. Like that's if you make it 81, you studied too hard. So you pass. That's the key.
A good mate of mine was dry reaching on the morning of that exam, but he got a credit and then went on to do advanced tax the next semester. And now for the last 25, 30 years, he's been a partner of tax at PricewaterhouseCoopers. So he is definitely a nerd.
There we go.
But back on the Great Game of Business, I think you'd enjoy the book. I only heard about it from a guest probably 4 years ago, and it's now in my top 3 favorite books. It's an amazing story. The Caterpillar factory in Missouri was shutting down in 1983. So the management team said, "Oh, we'll buy it." And Caterpillar said, "Sure." $9 million. They only pulled together 100 grand, got $8.9 million loan from the bank. Apparently the bank manager wasn't there much longer after that. And then just grew it from there. It's an amazing story, but the things that they tested management wise and kept what works, obviously. It's got the best bonus system I've come across in that book. He talks also, there's 3 main things, the bonus system, ESOPs, employee share ownership plans. He's a big advocate of that. But also...
I love it. ESOP too. Like,
yeah.
Really cool way to run a business.
It is. And obviously tax effective as well. But the third thing, and the thing Jack's probably best known for, is being the godfather of open book management. So sharing not just sharing your numbers with the entire team, but also educating them on how to read a P&L on the balance sheet and cash flow. Yeah, I think you'd enjoy it.
CPAs don't know how to do that. Read a balance sheet. They work for us. A lot of that's like running, like you have to teach people how a business is run.
Yes.
Like you don't go to school. Most people don't go to school to learn how to run a business. Like they go for accounting or they go for software, but they don't understand how the business makes money. And you have to teach that to them. And that's like, that was a big aha moment for me like a few years ago. It's like, oh, these people have no idea like how we make money, even though they are CPAs and look at business stuff all the time. It's like they're not thinking like an owner.
Yeah, and that's what business owners want. They want not just the debits and credits tucked away. They want some advice. You're getting on the front foot. I've worked with so many shit accountants over 3 countries over the last 26 years. Like it's really hard to find a great accountant. One of my sayings, once you find them, hug them and never let them go because they're like worth their weight in gold.
And people don't know that the hardest thing when I do new calls for the CPA firm, they're like, this is like 3 times the price of what I was paying before. It's like, well, that's because you had a shitty like you came to me and you're like, they never talked with you. They never gave you advice. Like there's a reason for that. But like people don't know they have a good account until they have a good account. They don't understand like what they're missing.
Yep.
and hard to like explain. Like in the US, we do such a bad job of teaching financial literacy. Like you take 4 years of math, 4 years of English, 4 years of social studies, 4 years of science. Like you almost never use that in real world, but like you could use like 8 years of finance.
Yep.
So it's like these small businesses, it's especially small businesses, like they're working in the bit, like they're doing 8 things. They're a veterinarian, they're the vet, or they're, running the flower shop or whatever they're doing. Like they don't know anything about running a business. So the finding, like you said, finding that good CPA or good accountant that can help you run your business better, but also like give you advice on taxes, like, yeah, that's super valuable.
What are some of the things you recommend to building a sustainable and kick-ass culture to help with the growth?
A big thing that I'm for is like no bullshit. That's basically what I say. It's like if we have a rule, it needs to be for a reason. And what I mean by that is like people can work wherever they want. People can dress how they want. People can give them ultimate freedom. The main thing is they take care of their clients. That's all I care about. Like everything else is bullshit. I don't care. You can work on the moon. You can work at 2 a.m. Like, I don't care. Just
get
take care of your client.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, and just treating people like professionals, like I'm not running a McDonald's. I'm not paying people minimum wage. Like I'm hiring professionals. Same thing in the software business. Like we're hiring professionals here. We're paying them good amounts of money. Like I don't need to micromanage them. Like you need to trust your people. If you hire them, like you almost have to. There's a story. I was like this. It's kind of do you know what foie gras is? Like
Yeah.
so there's one place in Spain that they do natural foie gras, and it's the guy, and it's the goose. Like, and he's like the goose has to feel completely free and natural to be able to eat that much and like naturally get the fatty liver, and like you have to let them roam and be free, and like that's how they're gonna perform the best. And, like that's kind of how I feel about running a team. It's like you do your stuff. I'm here to help when you need help. I'm not gonna micromanage you. Yes, we have a couple key metrics like on the CPA side. It's like, but the main thing, kind of the net, like all I care about is are you taking care of your clients? The way I track that is like if I hear, like if a client reaches out to me, then like something went wrong, like to complain. Like so if I'm not hearing stuff from clients, like client retention's good, like that's kind of how I measure for the most part, like how the team's doing. And there's some other things like I can normally tell, but in software is the same way. It's like, it's just slightly different, but you run it the same way. It's like, hey, I trust you. If you're in marketing, I trust you to do your marketing. If you're on software, I trust you to do software. I'm not going to micromanage you. Yeah, I'm the financial expert in this, and I have to tell you like if something's technically wrong, but everything else, like, and I think too, a big thing for owners, it's like you can do things multiple ways, and sometimes you got to step back and let the people make mistakes and learn from their mistakes. And like, it's a mistake, there's a better way to do it, but you got to kind of let them figure that out on your own and not step in. And I think learning when to not step in is almost as important as stepping in. And that takes a long time to figure that out.
Tell our audience how you've had a balance.
Balance? Well, I've got a 3.5-year-old. I got a baby coming. I've got a wife. I run 2 businesses. So I think the key is having a good team. Like you got to have a good team around you to help, because I can't do it all. So having a good wife, setting up boundaries, communication, like that's the key. And I think I'm a big golfer. I was talking with you about. So to me, it's like I need to play golf once a week. Like that's my thing. So if I play golf once a week, I'm good.
We'll get you down here to Tassie. We've got 4, soon to be 5 world-class golf courses. Actually, one's just another one's opening up near the airport here in Hobart. So it's definitely time for
What's the Cara? What are they called?
Bumbugle Tunes was the first one. A good mate of mine started that in late 2004. Bumbugle Tunes, yeah, and within 6 months it was in the world top 50 golf courses. And I asked him just before I moved to London, I said, how many golf courses are there in the world? So this would have been 2007. I asked him. He's walking around a golf course, Royal Hobart here, and he said, well, they say US has half the courses in the world, and there's about 20, I think he said 25,000. So there's like 50,000 golf courses. This is back then. There's a lot more now, obviously, in the world. And he just happened to build one in northeast Tasmania. He was mid to late 20s at the time, and yeah, it's been hugely successful. And 3 more open, soon to be a 4th. Yeah,
Coming, sold.
just got to get your wife across the line now.
Exactly. She's across the line. It's just figuring out the kids.
Yeah,
It's a long flight for a 3.5-year-old.
yeah. We'll stop over in Hawaii. It's a good way to make the
There you
journey.
go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Have you had mentors or coaches along the way?
Oh yeah, I think my dad has been, he's been a great business person, and he's 74 now, but we agree, like, he's very into technology and future. Like, we hardly ever disagree on stuff. So he's been a great mentor. Probably my number one mentor with business. And yeah, just other people on the way, our other business partners that have run the software, they've been really great mentors to us. I would say I had a basketball coach early on in life that was a very good mentor, still friends to this day. So yeah, a lot of people have helped along the way.
Are you a Hornets fan?
I am a Hornets fan.
There was actually a Tasmanian playing for you guys this season, Jack McVeigh.
Oh,
Yeah.
There you go. We had Josh Green. He's Australian.
That's right, yeah.
Last year. He's still on the team.
Yeah, a lot of good Aussies in the league over there. I follow it as well.
Yeah.
Now,
It will be. I don't want to run the business like the Hornets have been run, or the Panthers.
Yeah. Now, apart from your CPD, you have to do as a CPA, like not so much the technical side of things, but how much professional development have you invested in yourself, more on the business side?
Oh, a lot. We're in a peer group, so I think peer groups are very important. So I'm in a peer group of other CPA firms of my size. We meet twice a year. I have a great peer group of other, like, I would say younger CPAs. I'm getting a little older now, but people my age that run CPA firms around the country, mainly that are zero firms, because we're actually a zero firm, and we're one of the largest CPA firms in the country. That we've got over 1,000 clients on zero.
Good to hear. I love Xero. It's amazing product.
Yeah, zero. Yeah, compared to QuickBooks, like,
don't start me. Do not start me on my or QuickBooks. Jeez, rant.
Yeah. And the zero firms in the U.S. tend to be very progressive. So we kind of know each other, and we all hang out and we go to the conferences. So that's a great group of people to bounce ideas off of. So yeah, I think the peer group is fantastic.
You'll have to get to a Xerocon in New Zealand as well. There's a lot of great golf courses over there.
I know they just had one. It was just in Australia, and they're like rotating it now every couple of years. So I think maybe that's what I'll do next time it's in Australia. I'll kind of, that's a business trip. That's a tax write-off.
Let's see it. Pop on down to Tasmania. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have a board of directors or advisors?
We don't have a board of directors at the time. I mean, it's the 4 owners, but as we grow, that will be something that we will do. I think that's important to have too, especially like that. That's really, I think, what we're missing is some people who have gone through the whole process of a software startup and can give us advice. So that's when we were talking about strategic investors, that's kind of what I'd love to find, is a couple strategic people who have done this before and can really help us grow the right way.
All right, Jason, we're on to our final 5 questions. What do you think is the hardest thing in growing a small business?
First $1 million, like, that's the hardest. Once you get over that hump, you're good. But that's the hard. Going from nothing, like creating something out of thin air, a brand, everything, like, that's so hard to do, like, so hard. So I think that's when I've talked to other founders, that's what they say. It's like the first $1 million is the hardest. Once you get there, you're good. So
Favorite business book would just help you the most?
I do like it kind of Simon Sinek's Why.
Yep.
That's always stuck with me. I read that a long time ago, but I just think kind of what I was talking about, why, like, why do you do this business? It's like to help small businesses save for retirement, and like see that change. Like, I really focus on that why. It's not to make money, it's to help businesses.
Any great podcasts or online learning tools you use for your own professional development?
Oh, I've listened to a lot of podcasts. I'm big into sports, so I listen to a lot of sports podcasts. That's kind of like a way I decompress too, is like, but there's actually a very good new podcast from a friend of mine called She Counts, which is two women talking about women in accounting.
Hmm.
And that's been good for me to listen to. As a male, to just like, I feel like sometimes we don't have the emotional intelligence that females have. So learning from their perspective has been very good. Obviously, your podcast too. I listened to a bunch of your podcasts.
Yeah, I was just about to ask, you wouldn't have listened to this one. I think it's perfect for you. I'll send it through. James Ashford, probably 3 years ago, was in the UK. Bit of a swear fest. I kept count. I think he just beat me in swearing on that one. But
I've been I don't think I've sweared once, which is amazing.
oh, you've said shit twice. But James is the longest podcast. So it was about 2 hours long. I heard him on John Morello's podcast, Built to Sell Radio. Have you listened to any of John's already his books?
No.
Really good stuff. Anyway,
You're going to give me stuff to listen to? I'm going to have stuff for like, that's a year.
I'm going to send you that as well. That's great. But James is in the UK. He started up a SaaS business, and after 5 years, sold it for so over 10 million quid. So what's that, about almost 20 million US dollars, over that figure, after 5 years, to Sage, which is also a piece of shit accounting software in the UK. The lead over there.
Hey, we have Sage here too.
Yeah, it's terrible. And they only had 12 staff, so it sold for a very good figure. And he's speaks his mind, very frank, switched on. So I might send that through to you, if I'll connect you if you resonate with him.
Yeah, that'd be great.
One tool you'd recommend to help grow a small business?
I'll give a accounting tool they're mostly Australian. It's called Carbon.
Yeah.
It's a CRM, but it actually worked great for the software business and keeping track of stuff. Like, we can't run our CPA firm without it. There's we use the Slacks and all that stuff. I mean, that's just normal stuff, but Carbon has just been a very good piece of software for us.
Finally, my favorite question. What would you tell yourself on day one of starting out 15 years ago?
Probably don't be a dickhead. I think I was a little, 15 years ago, I was a little hot-headed, thought I knew everything. I think typical, when you're in your mid-20s or whatever, early 20s at that point. Like, these people, I was like, all my bosses are complete idiots, which, I was working at KPMG, they kind of were. But it's like, have a little grace and a little patience when you're early. And I think the more especially like running a business is hard, especially like once you're the boss, like you don't really, there's so much stuff going on. Like, you don't see that when you're an underlying worker. You think you know all the answers, and you definitely don't. And I definitely didn't.
Thanks so much for your time today, Jason. Really enjoyed our chat. Congratulations to you and your brother on the growth of not only the accounting business, but you started working at your dad's firm 15 years ago. You now run that with your brother. You've got about $800 million under wealth management in the wealth division. Then in 2023, with your brother and two other business partners, started Wealth Rabbit, platform to help other CPA firms and small business owners manage their wealth in the US, with around 15 FTE and $1 million under management, planning to get that to 100 employers by the end of this year and 1,000 by the end of next year. So congratulations to you both and the team over the growth of both businesses.
Thank you, Troy. I appreciate it. I appreciate you having me on the podcast.
That's it. Thanks for listening. Please leave a review in iTunes or whatever platform you listen to us on. It means more small business owners will find our cast and help people with their business growth journey.